Hello and happy Metta Monday. It's a pretty weird Monday, right? There's a lot going on, and I just wanted to keep to my routine to the extent that I'm able to continue to be of service in connecting you to your most authentic self. And I think it's especially important to do right now. As far as I know, most of us have made or are in the process of making preparations to stay a little bit closer to home, a little more hunkered down, a little less physical proximity to one another while we let this kind of unprecedented virus pass through and hopefully over us. And yeah, I think it's really smart to be cautious, err on the side of caution and be prepared. And part of preparation is getting your inner game together. And so I wanted to talk today about resilience, which is a topic I love to teach about. I've written about it, and I have a little mnemonic called the 3 R's of resilience that I teach about. And I want to give an example of it, but first I'll share what the 3 R's are. The first is reframing. The second is resourcing, and the third is reaching out. So I'll talk about kind of why these things matter. Resilience isn't the ability to withstand stress in a stiff way. It's more of a grounded ability to be flexible. So if you can imagine like a palm tree blowing sideways with a hurricane wind, that is resilience, because after that wind passes, it's able to come upright again, because it is deeply rooted and it's flexible. And we want that same resilience within our nervous system and our ability to emotionally self-regulate and co-regulate. So using a balanced nervous system of somebody else, using social connection to co-regulate. And this is going to be, it's not going to be harder, it's going to just be different because of this physical distancing that we have to do. I prefer physical distancing to social distancing because I think it's a misnomer and it just really conveys kind of a depressing scenario when it's really, let's get creative on how we can stay connected. Think about when you were 7. We've maybe all did this with the cans. Your friend had the can with the string across the way. Let's see how we can stay connected and be creative about it. So the things that support with resilience, again, are reframing, resourcing, and reaching out. So reframing is the ability to look at a situation differently. So getting curious about it. If a big wave of anxiety or fear comes up, reframing can be getting curious about that feeling. It can be saying, I am not this feeling. It can be, how would I talk to a friend who had this feeling? So it's the ability to step outside of the one part of us that's the noisiest and remember that we have other parts, that I am not this fear or this anxiety. Okay, so then step 2 is resourcing. And reframing kind of leads you into getting grounded within your own ability to become peaceful. And so, this is a buoy meditation of, dropping in and imagining that your body is anchored so that when your mind floats around, you can recenter yourself. It's compassion, so it's getting spacious around challenging feelings that are already coming up, that are going to come up. And it is, just teaching your nervous system what a calm, peaceful state feels like. So resilience isn't about staying calm and peaceful. That's impossible. It's about returning and getting better at returning. So getting our inner game ready for what's coming and is already here is about getting connected and dialed in to what it feels like to be grounded and peaceful, so that when we get off balance, we remember what on balance feels like. Sort of like the Weeble, right? It gets knocked off balance and it gets righted again. And, it's about that finding and returning to that stillness. So, I mentioned the hurricane already. It has this really fast moving edge, and it's still in the center. And so we can become still at the center of the storm if we retreat to that inner resource. So meditation, the point of meditation is getting us ready for times like this so that we can drop into a resource center within us. That gets us more available for the third R, which is reaching out. So we take turns being a hot mess. We take turns being resourced. So we reach out to one another, and co-regulation is about getting balanced with support from somebody else. All it takes is being able to be reminded of who you are, of what your heart feels like, of what you love, and so co-regulation and self-regulation work together. The more that we resource ourselves, the more that we're available to show up and be present for somebody else. And reaching out takes vulnerability. It takes bravery. It takes bravery to say, I'm not doing well, but do it, because it is so much better than being locked in your own inner kind of prison. And so the example I wanted to bring up of this that I've seen, an example of resilience, of these 3 R's, are both in Spain and of course in Italy, we've seen people, standing on their balconies singing, dancing. In Spain, they're exercising. And this is all the 3 R's, right? They're reframing. They're saying, okay, we're locked in quarantine for a limited amount of time, but for a long period of time. So we're reframing it by saying, let's make the most of this. What are the opportunities? So they've gotten creative with their situation. They've resourced by getting in that ventral vagal balanced state through play, through joy, through exercise, through singing. So singing and humming are a great way to stimulate the vagus nerve and get back into that balanced ventral vagal, peaceful, joyful state. And of course they're connecting, they're reaching out. They may not be physically connected, but there's a lot of connection that you can see in if you've seen these videos of all across Italy, people singing on balconies to one another with instruments. It's so inspiring. There's videos of really quirky Italians doing funny stuff, and it is not about denying the fact that the boogeyman exists. Okay, what they're doing is they're going under the bed, they're pulling the boogeyman out and saying, let's dance. So this is the most brave thing that they're doing that we can choose to do too. So that's my Monday pep talk, is dance, is make the most of this, it's get grounded. It is be nourishing with yourself, take care of yourself, and be willing to ask to be taken care of when you need it. And I'm here as much as I can be. I will be, doing a regular, like I've always been doing, 10 a.m. live meditation within the Co-Regulation Nation Facebook group. You can search for Co-Regulation Nation and ask to join. I will be leading a live yoga class at noon on Mondays, and I will let you know what other offerings are available through Innerlight Yoga Studio where I teach. We're working on getting more online. And I've been asked to join a really amazing cadre of meditation teachers, and I'll be leading a live meditation Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. All of these are Eastern time. So again, Monday morning, live meditation, 10 a.m. Noon, live, gentle to moderate flow yoga today, both on Monday, 10 and noon. And 8 p.m. Wednesday meditation. And stay tuned for other offerings. While we're all stuck indoors, we have to show up for one another, and this is my offering to you. It's all free. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a beautiful and skillful day. Thank you.